Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm joined here by my buddy Killey, and we're gonna talk about the new Guilty Gear. Killey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good. Well, a lot better with that reveal.
Oh, dude, I mean, it's always great to have an excuse to bring you on the channel. I think the last time was when we talked about Guilty Gear last year.
Yeah.
So it's
I
good. It's
think
good to have you back, man. And yeah, these are exciting times. Is it gonna be called Guilty Gear? Just plain Guilty Gear? I don't know.
who,
Like, it's a
who knows,
placeholder.
man? Maybe they don't have a placeholder yet.
Yeah, yeah. Damn, that trailer. Oh, dude, super hype. It was
My
short, but it was enough
my s-
information.
my spirit flew out of my body.
Oh,
You know,
like
dude,
Nightwolf?
I literally waited all day
Yeah.
for this trip because there was hinted that there was going to be a Guilty Gear announcement. So I
Yeah.
waited all day from Blaze Blue Top 8. And I had like little sleep, so I had this massive headache
Uh-huh.
throughout the entire day, just waiting for a Guilty Gear announcement, just hoping,
Yeah.
hoping and praying for a Guilty Gear announcement. And then our Lord and Savior Daisuke comes up on stage,
Mm-hmm.
and he brings us God's gift
Oh,
again.
God's
Yeah, God's gift.
So it was
And
worth
at
the
first
wait, is what you're saying.
yeah, and we weren't sure. We're just like, the trailer opens up with that eagle, and we're like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It looked like Guilty Gear. We weren't sure. And then Soul and Kai's sword are embedded in the ground,
Yeah.
and then everyone knew at that exact moment it
Yeah.
was Guilty Gear. And then and then you see Soul and Kai grab their swords, and the guitar riff starts going, and then you just lose it.
Everyone starts
Fucking
floating
lost
off the floor.
it. Just lost it. Just my body, like my spirit, just flew out of my body at that moment.
It feels like Exard has been out for so long now. So
I
we've been
think
waiting for a while.
5 years, over 5 years.
Yeah,
now.
man, it's been a long time, long time. So let's get right into it, Killey. Let's talk about this trailer. Like I said, it was short, but there's definitely some information there. I think the very first thing that everybody notices is the engine, man. It looks crazy.
Oh my god, the visual style of the
Hmm.
game and like the graphics look absolutely phenomenal.
It
But
looks.
not just that, like it's like I don't know, it's something about it. It just captures Daisuke's art style
Hmm.
so much more faithfully than the previous
Yeah,
Xrd, right?
yeah,
Just crazy how it looks.
yeah. The shading looks better. It looks smoother. There's a lot more detail. Like the lighting, everything looks just much better. It definitely looks next gen. It looks this is gonna be great. I mean, this engine looks so far ahead of other fighting game engines, man. It's crazy. I mean, when we first saw like DBZ, and we're like,
Yeah,
wow, this is insane. But now this is like another step above it. If
yeah.
that's hard to believe.
It just looks so crisp
Yeah, yeah.
and like I just like how they like continue to perfect their highly stylized visual style
Hmm.
instead of going for like photorealism,
Right,
right?
right.
Like in other games, they shifted to 3D and then they went for that more realistic look,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Just with like this 3D, just to kind of modernize it. But Guilty Gear or like Arxis went in the opposite direction.
right,
They're
right. Try
like,
to
okay,
try to stay
well,
authentic.
yeah,
Yeah.
like we'll go 3D as well, but we're gonna do it in our way
Hmm.
to keep our visual style, right?
Yeah.
And oh god, it just looks so beautiful.
So, I mean, I'm not as well informed as you, Killy, but when I saw Kai and Soul, they looked a little different. They looked a little
Yeah.
different. What?
Well, even the swords are different. The sword designs are completely different
Okay.
as well.
Okay. Well, tell,
So,
tell me some things you
and then,
noticed on Kai and Soul.
okay, so obviously Kai's got the short hair again. His costume is completely different. It's like this non-symmetrical look because like one side of like one arm's not sleeved up. He's got the jacket kind of draped over.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason though, his glove, like you can see the fingernails through the glove, which I don't quite understand, like what the glove design is. But,
I heard someone say there were armor plates,
I mean,
like
it could be
patched
like
on.
little plating or something like that. Who knows? But it looked kind of odd.
Uh huh.
Yeah, sword design is different. Uh, he looks he's got the short hair, and like the reception on his design is so positive.
That's
It's
good.
like the fan art is going insane with the new
I mean, it
Kai.
just
Everyone's
doesn't
like,
look as
"Man,
generic as before, I guess.
yeah."
You know?
Well, no, it's like everyone's like, "Oh man, Kai looks so hot now." No homo.
Yeah. She's too
Everyone's
beautiful
just going
now.
insane. He's like so beautiful. Before he was like best girl with the long hair, very feminine kind of look.
Yeah.
They're like best girl Kai, Revelator, and then they go with this new Kai, and there's like, oh my god, best boy Kai. He looks so hot. Blah blah blah. They're just going insane. Like
Oh
the
boy.
reception's insanely positive for his design.
What kind of timeline you think it is? Like, do they look younger, or is it just?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
From the way the story is right now, it makes sense why they don't look like they've aged.
Okay. Okay.
They were like both gears, so
Right.
yeah, they shouldn't be aging anyways. And Soul has his jacket that he had on in the story mode of Revelators, so or Sign and Revelators. So his design hasn't changed too much. His sword is different. That's about it.
All right, let's talk about some gameplay mechanic stuff. Like, I mean, the first thing too is we noticed there's this wild dynamic cameras. Like, it was just like constant camera
just
shifting
nonstop.
through. I mean, obviously it's just like, you know, a little showcase, but I'm sure it's not going to be like that when you actually play the game or the camera. You know, people are puking on the screen because the camera's just going so nuts. It's like a roller coaster ride or something. But I mean, how do you think like it will be like in the actual game, like the flow?
I don't think we'll see a lot of camera shifts like that. Obviously, they like really heavily emphasize certain things happening. I think that was more of a trailer stylistic choice rather than actual
I hope
gameplay.
so. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's gonna be like the game flow would be like interrupted nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some of it like in Exar when you do a dust, right? The camera shifts upwards for a slight second. It's not too like intrusive, you know. Yeah. But it looks great, like when someone's casually, you know, spectating the match. Right? Another mechanic change we noticed is there's some kind of stage transition. So they're kind of like on top of this hill or this cliff, right? And then Kai knocks Soul down, and then he falls down to the floor, and we see kind of this cracked glass effect when it transitions.
So that was crazy because obviously we've never seen that in Guilty Gear before. So stage transitions is going to be new, or maybe we don't know. We don't know if this was just for trailer or if this will actually impact game, like be finalized in the gameplay. Like keep in mind when they announced Exert Sign for the first time, of the trailer, there was mechanics that didn't even make it into the final build. Like they had priority based clashes where like if you clashed. If you had a clash and the other person was using like a heavier normal than yours, you would lose in the clash. That never made it into the final version.
Okay, interesting.
So who knows what will happen, right?
Right.
But that could, if that sticks, that could impact the flow of the game, right? Like how does that affect corner play, corner Oki, right? Like you're not gonna get corner Oki if you knock them, if you do a stage transition. You'll probably get more damage, maybe new combo. Well, I don't know. It didn't look like you could get new combo opportunities because Kai went for that overhead. And then 2020.
It looked like Soul. He had to get up attack.
Still low profile.
Yeah, he got hit by a wake up like sweep. I don't know. It's weird.
That's still 2D, man. The low profile's everything. Man. It's out of this world. 2020 is still gonna be low profile.
That's funny.
I love how they purposely showed that. It's just like, oh man.
It's like a small nod. Yeah.
But so I don't know. I don't know if you get a combo follow up or not. It didn't look like you could. Maybe it'll change it. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, they're always trying to find ways to make the stages more interactive without like affecting too much gameplay. You know, we're seeing stage transitions in almost every fighting game now. It seems like everyone's trying to have their own little take on it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Even SF5 had kind of expanding the stage.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so I guess the last thing we should talk about with this little teaser here is that who's that creepy dude at the end with like the dual katanas and the scary mask? Like, who is that? The returning
Leroy Smith.
Sorry?
Leroy Smith from Tekken. I don't know. Everyone was joking. It's like, yo, is that Leroy Smith? But it's like, no, man. Brand new character.
Oh, okay, brand new. All right.
So no idea who he is. He's never been in any of the Guilty Gear stories that I'm aware of. Anyways. The helmet was really cool. The way the helmet formed. Oh man, that was sick.
Yeah, I mean, like, is that logo on that helmet have like? Does it relate it to anything that you know, or?
Not that I'm aware of. Anyways, I might be missing something.
Definitely looks like last boss material though, probably.
It looked like a gear. Like in the story mode, there's gears.
Okay.
And they're like, I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it looked like a gear basically, that mask. or helmet. So
Mhm.
that's cool though. Really cool design.
Yeah,
I like.
looks good. And then at the end of the trailer, they of course announced, kind of a general release date in 2020.
Yeah.
So we actually have a lot of questions about that. I mean, the first off, when they say 2020 release date, are they talking about arcades? Are they talking about like home consumer? To us, right?
Yeah, like is that going to be Japanese arcades first,
Mhm.
and then consoles delayed afterwards? Are we going to see a simultaneous worldwide release?
Mhm.
Is it going to be PS4, PS5? Probably PS4, but who
Yeah.
knows? Will we see a simultaneous PC release, like Steam release,
Yeah,
at the same
I
time as
guess I
well?
guess it has to come down to when in 2020, right? If it's at the end
Yeah.
of 2020, then I think it'll be worldwide because next gen consoles coming out the end of 2020. If it's near the beginning of 2020, I could see Japanese arcade testing first and then
Hmm.
transition to consoles, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's exciting though, man, because like I said, the 2020 window for fighting games is not too hype, and this is great. I feel so great time for Guilty Gear to come back. There's a lot of options here. So.
Yeah, like there hasn't been many new fighting game announcements for 2020 in terms of like new games coming out. We know of Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, also from ArcSys, so people are kind of hype about that
Mm-hmm.
and skeptical at the same time. What was it? The Ponder Brothers announced that they're going to do that
Yeah.
Riot-based fighting game. So
Mm-hmm.
who knows, like what is coming out in 2020 outside of like continuing content for currently released
Yeah.
fighting games.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I mean,
besides the trailer, Killey, I mean, we
mhm,
talked about this before when we knew a new Guilty Gear was being in the works. But
yeah,
I mean, there could be some hints from that trailer too on what kind of mechanics we'll see because we know that this Guilty Gear, I mean, a mean way to say it is going to be dumbed down, but they're going to appeal more to the masses with this one. They said specifically like they're going to tone down the amount of mechanics in the game, but they also don't want to alienate their core audience, right? So
yeah.
they definitely expand it. So I mean, what kind of things you think we will see? I mean, auto combos would probably be the most obvious one that I could think that would add because they're talking about things they learned about DBZ before, right? And even in
Yeah.
the teaser, it kind of looks like there's this auto combo looking string, but we can't really take the trailer too seriously when it comes to the
Yeah,
final
yeah,
product.
yeah. But it definitely looked like Soul was doing like an auto combo. It
Yeah,
didn't, well, in any case, it didn't look like one of his existing or historical Gatlings that he
right,
had from past games. So
right.
who knows that that's new because everyone was doing new normals, new specials, right? So
Yeah.
maybe that's just a new Gatling he has. But it could have been an auto combo as well.
Based on Exar though, like what mechanics can you live without? Like you personally, like what can you live without?
Uh, Danger Time needs to go for sure.
Danger Time. Why? Danger Time's hype, man.
No man, it's artificial. Get out of here.
Okay, okay,
It's
okay.
it's
Artificial
like the least hype thing to happen.
What else?
I mean that was just like artificial. And then Purple Roman cancels. There's no need for that.
Purple is
Both.
when the move is recovering, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's like it doesn't really add anything, and then it's just like another mechanic,
Okay.
arbitrary mechanic. So it doesn't really need to be there. Um, I could see them removing different wake up timings because there's between the cast the wake up timings is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's not universal. Then there's also face up and face down wake up timing. So
Well,
I
that
could see
sounds
some sort of
complicated.
simplification or of that
Yeah.
mechanic. Um, yeah,
What
personally, I'd
about
like to
wire
see the
seeds?
slowdown removed from Roman
Oh,
cancels
okay.
in
Yeah, the
general.
wire seed. Yeah.
Yeah, so YRC, I could see that go. We'll see though. They need to have something in place of YRCs if they're gonna get rid of it, and then I would get rid of the slowdowns off of Roman cancels in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see the argument for keeping it for accessibility reasons, because that's why there was slowdown in the first place, was accessibility, to give more time to confirm and convert off of those hits.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
finally, I think one of the biggest criticisms of Exard when it was first released was the lack of the robust cast. There were a lot of characters not in that starting roster, that people obviously wanted to return. And I think this is a
yeah,
great opportunity now to bring a lot of these characters back finally, because we're missing a lot, right?
Yeah, so this is kind of like how much can they port over from Xrd
Mm-hmm.
into this new game, right? If they can reuse assets, like I'm not sure how easy or difficult that would be, but if you can somehow reuse the existing assets and then kind of expand upon them,
Mm-hmm.
then most of the legwork is there, and then you can have like your base roster for Xrd, which gives you a good portion of the old returning cast from older games, older Guilty Gears before Xrd in general.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're looking at the cast, who's missing from the older Guilty Gears, then we're missing Abba, Angie, Bridget, Justice, Cliff, Robo-Kai, Holy Order Soul, Testament, and Zappa. So 9 characters
Cliff.
of the
Yes.
original class that are not in there. Now, like Justice and Cliff, I can see people like don't need to kind of worry about them because they were always like afterthought characters that
Okay.
were added in. But if we're including them, that's 9 characters from the original cast that we
Yeah.
don't have. And then in terms of new characters that we could see from the Guilty Gear storyline in general,
Mm-hmm.
there's Gabriel, who's the like general or commander of Zep, which is where Potemkin is from. Daryl, who's one of the 3 kings in that world. So Kai, Leo, or the or 2 of the kings. Daryl was introduced in the story mode. He's the 3rd king. We
Okay.
haven't seen him be playable at all. Spoilers for people. You've had 5 years to watch the story, but
Okay.
spoiler. Bedman is dead in the story.
Yo, spoilers, Killey. I didn't know that.
but his sister was shown
Okay.
in like a brief little kind of teaser thing in the story mode. Not teaser, but she was like briefly shown in the story, so we could see Bedman's sister potentially. Ariel's, I don't really know how to pronounce her name, but she was the main villain in the story mode. We could see
Okay.
her be played. If we're looking at Guilty Gear 2 Overture, which was like that Xbox 360 game, way in the back, Izuna and Dr. Paradigm were not added. Dr. Paradigm was in the story mode. He's like that dragon-looking gear.
I don't know any of these characters you can actually kill you like any
Of course, you don't know any of these characters. You
I'm
fraud.
so confused right now.
But yeah, so those are the characters we haven't seen that have been shown in the story mode, but haven't had a playable version.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of characters that can draw from,
Yeah.
both in the story as well as from the old cast.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. That's exciting. So
Yeah.
yeah, guys. I mean, that's pretty much all the info we can talk about with this small teaser. But it's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. I cannot wait to see when they show off more gameplay and how this game is gonna turn out. It'd be nice to get into some Guilty Gear again. Guys, let us know in the comments below what you think about this. Are you guys super hyped? What characters would you like to see return in this game, and what kind of mechanics do you hope that they get rid of or they keep? And Killey, man, it's nice to see you again. And I hope you can join me with some future videos as we talk about Guilty Gear as we slowly get close to release in 2020.
Yeah, like hopefully we see an announcement, more info after Arc Revolution or Arc Revel
Mm-hmm.
World Tour. Like the finals day is like sometime this year. I forget the date exactly. But,
Yeah.
Evo was like, I think it was the last qualifier spot before their, like DBZ had that last chance qualifier, and I think Arc Revo is going to have a last chance qualifier on the finals day as well. So
Okay.
hopefully after that tournament we'll see more news, more footage
Yeah.
on
That'd be
the
sick.
Guilty Gear.
Well, guys, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. We'll try to keep you guys informed as much as we can. And don't forget to like the video. It really helps out. And yeah, we'll see you guys sometime in the future. Hopefully not in 2020. All right. Take care, everyone.